everyone. Yeah, this is what we'll be making today. So this is actually another paper, as you can see. These two girls are actually another paper cutout. So yeah, that's the reason why we need two sheets. Actually, this is A5 and this is A6. I'll actually be folding this to make an A6 paper. Like if you have A6 to A6 sheets ready, well and good. And you can choose any color for the background and the clothes and for the clothes. So this is the base, two A6 sheets. Like any paper you can use. It need not be any thick GSM. And next, for the colors, I'll be using flash acrylics. So you can choose any color for the background. For example, here I have used light blue. You can also make it yellow. You can also paint a sunset color, like anything that you like. Then we need a pencil for sketching and brushes. I'll be using this thin round brush for details and a flat brush. Any flat brush would do for the background. And you'll need a scissor to cut the shape. And this is the foam tape. This is a double-sided foam tape. So yeah, if you have a masking tape, you can use that also to, mask these edges and paint the background. And a jar of water and a waste cloth for cleaning your brush. So the first step, we can first make the background, and then in the next step, we'll be first sketching the people, and then after painting, we'll cut them out. After cutting them out, we'll add these borders. You can see the black line. And yeah, after that, we can stick it to a previous paper. So these are the steps. Now let's get started. For the background, instead of masking the edges, I'll just mark the border, like any thick border, just like this. I'll mark the border, and as I told, the first step is to paint the background. So I'll take one sheet and first paint the background. For that, I'll mark the border. So on this bottom part, you can add any message or like anything that you'd like. So I'll be going ahead with this Happy Friendship Day itself. So I'll give a little space in the bottom than the other sides. You can change the background accordingly, like it's up to you. I'll be making a blue sky with few clouds. So I'll start with the blue. Since I'm using only one color, first I'll mark the border with this color and then paint the inner part. So this doesn't need any mixing, so I'll paint it directly. If you're using a masking tape, you can just directly paint without any concern. The reason why I'm not using masking tape here is because the paper which I'm using is not a thick one. So while removing the tape, it can, damage the paper. If you are painting carefully this without the tape, it will also work. So this part is ready. And you can let the paint dry for a little while. Meanwhile, we can start sketching the background people. Now for the illustration, I'll first check the size, like the height, how much I'll need. I need the person to be of this height, not covering the entire blue space. A little, 3/4 of this would do. Yeah, somewhere here. First, I'll mark how much I need. I'm keeping this parallelly to this sheet, and I'll mark the height till how much I need. So I need till here, right? So I'll mark where this blue line ends. I hope it is clear. I'll keep the new paper over this blue, and I'll check the height, how much I need. And I'll first mark the line where this blue color ends. Now you can cut this part out. That is, you can draw a line and then cut it, or else you can just bend it. You can bend it like this, where the mark is there. You can bend it and then cut it. I have a knife, so I'm using that to cut. So this is the height of the illustration, and I need the illustration to be of this width, that is not exceeding this blue. I don't want exactly the same, but I'll reduce it. That is, I need it only till here. See, I'm keeping it a little this side towards the right, and then I'm marking somewhere here. I hope it is clear. So I'll bend this part again. Or you can cut it however you feel comfortable. You can also use a scissor to cut. You can keep these parts aside. So now I have the cutout, see, of this size. If you guys are ready with this paper, we can go ahead. So I'll tell you how to sketch now. For that, let's divide the page, this paper. This is almost a square for me, but even if it is a rectangle or like any rectangle size, it's fine. Just divide it vertically and horizontally into 2 halves. That is, I'll mark like this and also like this. I'm just dividing it roughly using a pencil into 2 halves. As we know that the head would be over here for both these parts. The thing is, I'm dividing it vertically because I need space for both the people. So let's make a round, a circle, not in the center, but somewhat next to the center line. So we'll make 2 circles like this, which would be the head of our 2 illustrations. So a rough round would do. This is just for reference. And you need to draw a straight line. You guys might have seen, like, we used to draw stick figures like this, right? This is what we are doing. Basically, this is the rough skeleton that we'll be sketching. Now, draw a straight line for both the circles. So this is the head part. And for the neck, you can make a small neck like this. Okay. Small. Like, you don't have to make it long. Just a little would do. And next, for the shoulders for both. Okay. So the thing is, in this, the person on the left is actually having her arm around this girl's neck. So for that, I'll just extend this line till the neck part of this person, of the second person. See, all these are coming in the top half of this paper. This is the midline, and all these parts that I explained come under this. So I'll extend her arm and a little shoulder part for this girl. And next you can draw a parallel line for her arm. And you can, mark the sleeve for this girl. And this one, I'll just extend it and then make a curve, because the front part of her hand won't be visible as it would be in the front of her. So yeah, this is the hand. And this hand, so this is where her shoulder would end. This is her sleeve. Okay. Now for the other girl, you can extend this line to make her sleeve like this. Somewhat, you're just making 3 parallel lines. And for her arm, the thing is, her hand would be, I'll just demonstrate here. This girl's hand would be like this. A little, not exactly like hers. Her hand would be like this. You can just draw a line passing through the sleeve. So this is the sleeve of the second person, okay? This is the sleeve of this person. So let it be like this. And you can draw a line from center, a little straight, and then reach the shoulder of the other girl. So now, in order to fill this hand part, you can slowly erase this reference line that we just drew. And you can just make it look like a hand. Just add volume. See? And you can just make a small curve, because even that hand won't be visible to us completely. So you can actually fill the hair part, so that like it doesn't look weird. So I'll tell you how to draw the hair part. So this is a circle, right? And this was the neck. Now for the hair part, you can start from the center of the circle, top center, and you can bring down the hair like this. You can also cover the neck portion, because if the girl's hair is lengthy, it will obviously cover the back of her neck. So you can just make any shape. You can make a short hair, or if you want to make a long hair, suppose this is the circle, you can increase the length of the hair. Okay. See? So we'll be doing the same over here, just like this. So this person's hair, I'll make it short. So I'll start from the center, and I'll cover her neck in a slight U shape. Once I shade, you'll get an idea of this hair. See? This is the hair part of one girl. And for the other one, we can also make a ponytail for her if you want. Or you can, instead of making a girl, you can also make a boy, or you can make both of them as boys. Like, it's up to you. So for this girl, I'll make a long hair so that you can easily understand. I'm just bringing down the hair part from the top, just like how we did. And I'll also increase the length of her hair. She's having a lengthy hair, so I'll just extend it downwards also. So I'm shading it. You don't have to shade it. I'm shading it for you to understand. So, see. Next, this girl's shoulder will be over here. Since this girl's hand is resting over her shoulder, I'll make her shoulder somewhat here. And then you can bring the sleeve. You can make the sleeves equal in length if you want, or you can make one small and the other short. Now, you remember this line, right? The midline that we drew from both the circles. So next, for the body part, I'll just extend a little. So this is the center line, right? So you can divide it equally like this. You're just making a box again. So after this, you can either increase the length of the top if you need. And then this is for the bottom part. You can add a belt and then 2 pockets if needed. And for this girl, I'll make it as a skirt. So it will be somewhat like this. Okay, now this is a sleeve, right? So for the hands on both the sides, you can extend it a little and then bring it in like this. Similarly here, you can just extend it downward. So with this, our sketch is ready. So since my sketch is like dark, I'm just removing it. You can rub off the excess charcoal. Next, for the hair, like I'll tell you the colors first. You can go ahead with black for the hair or dark brown. This is burnt umber. I'll be using a combination of these 2 colors for the hair. And for the clothes, you can use any color of your choice. Since my background is blue, I will go for colors that would match the background. Okay, since I'll be making one heart-shaped thing here, I'll be using red for that. So I'll avoid using red for these clothes. I'll go with yellow and pink for the tops, legs, similar to this one. So these 2 colors would do, I guess. And for the pant, I'll go with green and blue. Not the sky blue, but somewhat darker than that. Okay, I'll go with this. You can go like choose your own colors. So I'll start with the top first. Okay, I'll tell you about the skin tone also. If you're using flash acrylics, you already have flesh tint. But in case you don't have this, you can mix red, white, and yellow to get the skin tone. So I have the flesh color now. You can use this color to paint all those visible parts. That is the hands. So my hand part is done. Now I will go for the clothes. Okay, using the same colors. So first I'll paint the one on the left. Okay, I have this green, so I think I'll paint the first person with green. The color I'm using is parrot green. You can fill the entire top using this color. Now I'll use olive green for the bottom part. All the details can be done in the end, so I'll just fill this part first. Now I'll use pink for the other girls. I have this purple, so I'll be going with pink and purple combination. If you want to make pastel pink, then you can mix this color with white. For the bottom part, I'm using purple. I had a little pink, so kind of mixing with the color. So this is for the skirt. If you want light shades, you can just add white to these colors. Now the hair part alone is left. For that, I'll go ahead with black first. First, you can just fill this entire shape. Now we can add small details. I will just add a little detail. Next, you can, for the highlight part, what I'll do is I'll just take a little dark brown, that is burnt umber. I'll just mark a few strands. You can add individual strands like this, not fully, a little. Uh, it's fine. Okay, so my illustration is almost done. So I'll give it some time to dry. You can make a heart shape in any rough sheet which was left from that cutting. Okay, I don't need a big heart, like I'll make it a small one. And I'll use red to color that. I think that's it. Now, the next step is to cut these things out. So before that, let's mark the border, like the outline. So for that, I'll use black directly. So this part where we'll be outlining the entire illustration. So I'll take black and you'll need a thin brush. I'll be using the same brush for outlining. So once you have finished coloring, you can start outlining the. So we'll start with this girl. Next is a top. And for the pant, okay, I also do this. You can mark 2 pockets. Okay, mark a square first. On both sides. And okay, mark a line. I think that would do. If you want to make it a pant, you can just mark a line. For the next one, I'll do the same. You can add the frills by adding strokes like these. I think that the illustration is completely ready. Now, I have the scissors. So using that, I'll just cut it out. You can, if you want, you can leave a little gap. I'll show you. You can leave a little white space. And if you're not interested, you can just cut it along the outline. So make sure your paint is dry already. First, I'll cut it off roughly. And then after that, I'll do it in a detailed way. You can take your time and then finish this part. If you want to add more people, you can add. Now for this part, you can either use a small scissor like this, or you can use a craft knife. Like this is the one that I have. You can use any of these to cut this part. I'll try it with the scissors first. Okay. First, I'll mark a hole in the center. And then from there, I'll start cutting it out. You can also cut this part if you're not able to cut it properly, this center part. So this part is ready. Now for the heart, same way, you'll just have to cut it out. So the heart is also ready. For adding the clouds, I'll take white acrylics, and using a dry brush, I'll take some color, and you can add clouds. I'm just running my brush on the sheet randomly. You don't have to make any defined shapes for the clouds. You can just randomly make a few here and there. So I'll make one here and one here. So this is how it looks. So I'm actually using a dry brush. So our background is ready. You can actually use any brush for this, for painting the clouds. And next step is to stick these things on this sheet. So for that, I'll use this foam tape. Let's cut a small piece. So this is the back side. I'll keep one here. You need 4 small pieces. So this is for the illustration, and for the heart shape, I'll have to cut a smaller one. So I made this one. I'll stick this. So I'll place it somewhere here in the top corner. And this one. Okay, I'll fix it in such a way that this line is parallel to this one. Like is exactly over this line. So first I'll remove all the covers. We'll place it on. So this is how it looks. Now the last step is to add any coat or something which you like. I'll use black directly. You can use any pen. Okay. You can write anything that you want. So this is the final product. If you guys are recreating this, you can post it on Instagram and tag both myself and Flash Paints. So this is what we did today. So instead of making this exact illustration, you can go ahead and paint, like sketch anything that you like. You can paint it first and then mark the border and then cut it out. I think I'll leave then. Thank you all for joining and happy Friendship Day.